Hey friends, I was just working on a new dopamine box with a friend, and I kind of wanted to do a follow up on the workshop that everyone attended because we kind of got cut short at the end there with people coming in, and I felt like there should be, I wanted to go over a sort of few last things in case anyone is having trouble with efficacy of their dopamine box. So the main things I want to go over are repairing the dopamine box and making sure the functionality is working really well. And then the second thing is what to put on your task cards and sort of a modality for that. And then third thing is mounting, and that's the main point of this video. I really want to talk about mounting the dopamine boxes in a place and what that's like and why that's important. So the thing about fixing the dopamine box is really all I wanted to say is encourage people to use, if your dopamine box is a little like unstable or not structurally sound for any reason, don't be afraid to pull off the faceplate and do repairs with hot glue. If you have hot glue, they can do wonders. I thought things I can imagine doing with hot glue for this is obviously in securing the corners of the middle plate and making sure everything is really like tight. If you are having any issues with like the tabs sliding past the point where they're supposed to, like maybe the cardboard is sort of slipping into itself there, you could put a little dab of hot glue to make this piece more solid, the stopper that stops this from riding up. That could be something you use hot glue for. And lastly, I saw this issue with a lot of people's boxes, and I wanted to go over it. Because we kind of had imprecise measurements and everything, some people had really, like two issues that could arise would be one, these could be really stiff to slide up and down, and then two, they could be too loose to slide up and down. So if they're too stiff, I would say just trim the actual tabs or sticks or whatever. I think that's probably the best option. Because these are being contained inside of the box, you don't really have to worry about cutting the edge of the tape here. I think it should be fine. But yeah, you could trim down these in total to make them a bit more thin. If your tabs are just kind of like not staying up while they are in the kind of, oh, by the way, I have the tape backwards here, but anyways, in the upwards position, something I do with hot glue on my other box, I can't really show you, but I would put a little dab of hot glue here, and then I would kind of like wait until it cools down, and I would sort of push it down and smudge it so that it's not too tall, but basically creates a bit of rubbery friction right at the bottom here. And then when you put the top plate on and secure it with hot glue, that creates a lot of pressure here, and that can really make sure that this is stuck in the up position and down position. So that's another thing you can do with hot glue. Okay, so that's chapter 1 on maintenance with hot glue. Chapter 2 is stuff on tasks. So we had those small task cards that we placed on the front of the box. I just wanted to talk about tasks and what I like to put on my dopamine box. We kind of went over it a little bit in the workshop, and honestly, I prefer to just like kind of let people do, like everyone's needs are different and everyone's application for this will be different. So I don't want to be too prescriptive, but generally, I like to test different possible tasks when things aren't working. Like if there's one that I'm not getting done every day, a good idea is to swap that out for something easier. Like let's say it was like yoga or something. Like do a 20-minute workout of yoga. Maybe do 5 poses of yoga or something like that, or 1 pose of yoga even. Like experiment with reducing the scope of the task because your objective is to create a relationship with the box that works and that you are fulfilling every day. So my advocacy is for really easy tasks on the box, just so that you are sort of like off to a good start. Don't put too difficult stuff. Very easy things. Like I have one that's just like medication and teeth, like brush my teeth in the morning. I don't think I'll ever have a problem with that one, but it's a nice reminder to know if I took my meds that day, and just like it is easy, but it's still important. So yeah, I would say make sure there are some easy ones on your box and not that many challenging ones. And if any feel too challenging, if you're not getting them done every day, make them simpler or switch them for something else, or reduce the scope of them to a smaller number of iterations of that thing. Like I've got one that says do 6 dishes, and I just find that works for me in terms of psychology. Almost always I do all the dishes. I don't just do 6 dishes, but doing all the dishes is a more annoying task in my brain. And so I'm like, yeah, okay, I can go do, or like, even if I put like 3 dishes on there, it's like, I can go and do that just to push down this tab. If I'm not feeling up to it, maybe I just do 3 dishes or 6 dishes or whatever. But usually I just do them all, obviously, because you get going and you enjoy the process or whatever. But anyways, there's like little tricks you can do. But my advocacy is for easier tasks and ones oriented towards like compassion and self-care and home care and stuff like that. But you can do anything with these. Also, I encourage people to like, I did in my other box, I have, I can show you. I have like a little tray for treats, and a bell to ding. If you want to make a, like get all 6, kind of like reward system, where when you do all 3, you get a reward. That's recommended, but you'll have to kind of figure that out on your own, like making this little box out of cardboard and hot glue. But you could come up with something completely different. You could do a little tactile touch. You could, whatever like the ultimate dopamine response is for you, you can like build that in maybe, or get creative. And then the last thing I'll say is, so chapter 3, mounting. I really think that this is the most important thing about the video. I probably should have put it first. This is on my wall, and for other people, they might not want to put it on their wall because they're like, I don't want this piece of cardboard on my wall. Hopefully yours look better than mine does. I really think that these need to be, one, in a place that is visible to you at the maximum amount of times during the day. Like if you work from home or something like that, I really recommend putting them in a place where you, like where it can't be ignored. Basically, frequency over ideal placement. So if there's a place that you sit down and work at, or you spend time at, put it in like line of sight of that position, that your head, when you're sitting there, will just like naturally drift over to it and see it. Don't put it behind you, or like a place where you walk by. Like that's kind of good, but your brain can really ignore things like that. So I would say put it in a place where you naturally just like look at a lot of times in the day. And then I really think it's great on a wall. I really advocate for this. I think it's like nice that you can't it's nice to always know where it is, that it's anchored down and you never have to worry about its position. It's always in the same spot. So really, 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 I recommend those things strongly. As for mounting it to the wall, there's a few things you can do. I used to do mine. I had a really complicated thing where I think I took them off. Yeah, I did. There was, at one point I had these like little cardboard. You can't, oh no. I'm sorry. I dropped mine. There were small cardboard braces on the back. They're gone now, so I can't really demonstrate it. But they're basically just like a square brace, kind of in that shape. You can see the remnants of one here. And I would put thumbtacks in the wall, and it would sort of slip down onto the thumbtacks. Not everybody wants to put holes in their walls. I've tried using mounting tape, but that stuff can leave horrible residue on your wall and also be so strong. Certain varieties are so strong that they can really peel off the plaster and just do terrible things. My current setup that I really like is I bought this, I think it was pretty cheap, but from a dollar store, I bought this Velcro stuff. And it's really nice because I can take my dopamine box off the wall. I've taken some of these tabs off and they don't leave much of a residue. And then I just had the corresponding shape on the back of the box and it just sort of plugs on there and it's awesome. 10 out of 10. I would recommend Velcro tape. And I had some, but I hadn't tested it, so I didn't give it away, but I would have happily given it to people because it is a really good solution for the back of the box. So I bought that at Dollarama. You can also buy similar stuff at the, what do you call it? At like art supply stores. And they also sell magnet tape there, which is another option you could try if you wanted this on your fridge. I personally wouldn't want mine on my fridge, but that's just me. So yeah, that's my video. I hope you guys are doing well and that you're getting some use out of your boxes. And if you're having trouble like interacting with them and you find that you're not actually using them, my number one recommendation is put them in a visible spot mounted to your wall. That is the thing that will click, I believe. Also, last thing, these have little cute guys on them. I think it's really cool to have, like, my next box I'm gonna make really colorful little dudes that you plant. But there's something cool about the fact that you hide them. Like, if they're distracting, it's kind of good because you'll look over and you'll be like, oh, hey, look at that. And then like when you take care of that thing during that day, you kind of hide them so they don't have to pull your attention anymore. So I think that that's a cool trick, and I encourage you to have fun, like using paint markers or something to make little colorful guys that you hide. But that's also me. You can design it any way you want. Obviously, if you have other ideas, this is very DIY. So please, do your own thing. Okay, that's 12 minutes. Thank you for listening to this very long video. I hope you guys are getting some use out of them. And that's all. Okay, thanks a lot. Bye.